Maybe a little bit more email.
Yeah, I can feel that, but don't do it at your expense. Yeah, I really can't feel that. Okay, I like how much Memorial Day stuff there is in here. So just so you know,
Oh, good.
I think you're right on target with it. Okay, I've got a clock, and David, you're good. Um, I'm good. I'll count us down. Three, two, one. Hi. Wait, you know what? Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to restart this. The way I have to do this, there'll be a little pause before I go. Three, two, one. Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb is a pilot. And Barb Schlinker and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have got to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday right after Larry Kudlow, 11 o'clock. If you can't find it or listen to the entire show, always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just search Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about your primary assets, that is your home. So, Barb, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, Richard, I'm really excited about today's show. The first topic, I'm going to talk about what to do on Memorial Day and why are we celebrating Memorial Day? Why is it a holiday? And it's very near and dear to my heart, especially with regard to housing and investments, just because I know from being an Air Force, they call it a brat, where basically you're a dependent of the military. We had to travel around every 3 to 5 years. During those years, my parents really didn't get into buying or holding real estate because every couple of years they were going to have to move. And it's just with the income that they had, it's just too much risk to have a rental property far away. It's a little bit scary for people to do that. So they really didn't start investing in real estate until after my dad retired after 30 some years. And they did okay, but they didn't end up with a lot of wealth when they passed away. So I think it's a very important holiday. The reason my dad passed away is because he was exposed to Agent Orange while serving in Thailand and flying over North Vietnam, or Vietnam rather. So it's a very important holiday for me, and I'm sure it's very important to all the people that serve in the military, or if you're related to somebody that serves, there's a lot of risk. So I'm excited about talking about this topic. And then also the next topic we're going to talk about is basically affordability of housing. And right now, with the prices being high, the interest rates being high, the buyers are actually having to make some concessions about things that were on their must-haves list are now moving to their want-to-have list. And so what is it that they give up to be able to afford to buy a home right now in this market? And then the third topic is really going to be about why people are taking cash offers. The actual title is why real estate investors are getting back into buying homes. I don't know if you know this, but back during the boom, real estate investors, especially the big hedge funds and all these companies, they were coming in and paying a higher price cash than a live in the home buyer. And it was really hard for the live in the home buyers to compete against those buyers. And they're coming back again with some pretty strong offers. So we're going to go over that. And the last topic is about how to sell a home if you have a family member that owned a home and they passed away. We'll go into some details about some things that you should watch out for in that scenario. And also, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
You always do. And they are, in fact, hot. Now, Barb, as most families get into the long weekend, what are most people doing to celebrate and to honor Memorial Day? And how does real estate factor into this weekend?
Well, Richard, this is a good weekend for people to shop the sales. They probably already started early. It's also a great weekend just to get away. If you ever drive up to Teller County during these long weekends, you'll see there's going to be a huge line for traffic. But it's so beautiful up there. It's worth it to sit in traffic for a little while, enjoy all the beauty that Colorado has to offer. But the reason why it's a national holiday, and it was originally tagged as Decoration Day, is because it was honoring and mourning the US military personnel that died while serving in our country. And the thing that's striking to me is that very few people actually volunteer to serve. It is an all volunteer service. Right now, there's just over 2 million people that volunteered to serve in the military. To put that in perspective, there's 335 million people in the US that are citizens, and that is less than almost 0.5% of the population, a little bit more than that. So this weekend really is about honoring those who serve, who lost their lives, who really sacrificed and still sacrifice to be at risk to, going into danger in that situation. My husband regaled a story to me just this week about a young pilot serving down in training in Pensacola, sitting inside one of the training aircraft, which has an ejection seat. It was on the ground. And it's the first time I've ever heard of this kind of accident. The ejection seat went off and killed him.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's very sad that kind of thing happens. But there's a lot of risk to what military members do. They go to places they wouldn't normally go. They take risks that they wouldn't normally take. And the other part of this, and I was talking to one of my military members just last week during a closing. He said, we're having to go down to San Antonio, and the housing cost is basically the same. So we're kind of grateful we had a down payment to be able to get in the neighborhood that we could to buy our next home. And, that's part of it. They're serving, to get to retirement over 20 years, and they have to move around every 3 to 5 years. So it's really tough to kind of get roots and invest in real estate for military members. If you did buy a home in the last 4 or 5 years, the good news is our prices went up 40%. But if you're getting in right now, you're kind of at the high end of the market with high interest rates. And it makes it very challenging for our military members. I recently had a senior military member, active duty member, who really wanted to buy one of my listings that was priced fairly low, but it was in perfect condition. New roof, new furnace, new water heater, updated kitchens and baths, great neighborhood close to the base, priced in the low fours. He was this close to making an offer and competing with another buyer, but he elected not to do it because the payment was higher than his housing allowance. So what the military does is they give him base pay, which you really can't live on. If you decide not to take the housing allowance, they will give you housing on base. But if you're going to go out in town, you're either going to have to rent or buy. So most military members want to purchase a home and have their payment be less than their housing allowance. But it wasn't even close. It was close to double what his housing allowance would be. And that was after this young family, having served 17 years in the service and probably three more left before they could retire, couldn't afford to buy a home here. Yet they served our country all that time. And it doesn't seem right to me. I don't think they pay them enough. It's quite a sacrifice to do what they do. And that's one of the things that as a company we do. We give back to veterans causes. So if you refer us to anybody that wants to buy or sell a home, we will donate a larger portion to our worthy causes that we donate to, which are all veteran based. They are Wounded Warrior Project, Tunnel to Towers, Adopt a Platoon. There's a whole bunch more. Vet dogs. They provide service dogs for veterans that need it. So we think those things are very important to help veterans. So if you do know anybody that is thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900, or you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com, and we would love to take really good care of them. And for me, Memorial Day is really very personal. As I mentioned before, my dad passed away from complications from exposure to Agent Orange. He lived to be in his 80s, but I really felt like if it wasn't for that damage to his heart, he would have lived longer because he was very healthy, played golf a lot. It was just that one thing that took his heart out. Our son is currently serving in the Marines. I tried to talk him into joining the Air Force, but I'm just the mom. I don't get to choose those things. And he was actually in 2021 just one flight away from being assigned to the unit in Afghanistan that was helping all the people evacuate during that mess that Biden handled back in 2021. And we happened to be visiting him at the time. And I freaked out. I wasn't the brave Marine mom that I wanted to be, but I said, I don't think it's safe. I don't think you should go. And he goes, Mom, what is wrong with you? Why don't you, just encourage me here? And I said, I think it's unsafe. So what ended up happening is because the whole situation devolved so quickly, they pivoted to another unit that was closer over there, so they didn't get to go. And afterwards, he came up to me and said, Mom, me and my sergeants are really bummed out. We didn't get to go. And I was really stunned by that. It was like, wow, even knowing there's that much danger over there, they really wanted to do this. And I asked him why he felt that way. And he goes, it's because we're trained and it's what we do. And, I admire that courage, because I don't think everybody has the courage to run into the fire, just like firefighters or first responders or the military. So I really admire what they do. And that's why we give back to these kinds of causes, because they won't hesitate. Let me say that again. They won't hesitate to run into danger to protect people. And I think it's amazing. So if you are thinking of making a move, maybe you're not ready now and you just want to get a good idea what your home will sell for if you are selling a home, you can go to my website, barbhasthebuyers.com, and click on that green button, Get Home Value, and we'll send you some really similar sales. And if you're thinking of moving soon, we can do a free in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. We'll go over all of our 700 buyers in waiting. We'll show up with instant cash offers and be able to give you a really good idea what your home will sell for in this market. My name is Barb Schlinker. I am the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice, and we're talking about why we honor those who serve and lost their lives during this Memorial Day. And next up, we're going to talk about what the military does to help them get into housing. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the reason that we honor our veterans on this Memorial Day weekend. Tell us about what the service members are provided to help them with housing and how that works.
Well, one of the best benefits of being a service member is they offer the VA home loan guarantee. So basically, they guarantee the loan to the bank for the military member, and they give them 100% financing, no money down. Typically, the interest rates are about 0.5% less than current market rates, and they can use this benefit over and over again. So a lot of people, a lot of home sellers that aren't familiar with it are afraid that their selling costs are going to be higher, but that's actually a huge myth. The VA loan for the veteran is one of the easiest loans to get. The only criteria that's a little bit different than conventional loan is the house has to meet the loan guidelines, which means no peeling paint on the outside, no missing outlet covers, no missing stair rails, no broken windows, no safety hazards. So as long as your house meets that criteria, it'll be fine for VA. And even if it doesn't, you can ask the buyer to make those payments. And the other thing that they provide is what they call mortgage insurance, which is called the VA funding fee. So the veteran can actually buy a home, no money down, up into the millions of dollars if they qualify for the payment. If the borrower, though, after they purchase the home, cannot make their payments anymore and the lender has to foreclose, They get paid from the VA, they give the property to the VA, and then they turn around and resell it. Now, I've handled over 200 homes for the VA that have taken back in foreclosures in the last 10 years. Each and every one of them breaks my heart because I don't think that should happen to veterans. But I think financial education in the school system is awful. And there are plenty of other options for homeowners that might be facing foreclosure. So a lot of them, just because of their lack of knowledge, they don't do anything. They don't try to sell it, but we can help them. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call because we can help you with that. And one more thing, one thing that's really red hot right now is offering your low, excuse me, offering your VA loan to be assumed, especially to another veteran, because there's no risk to you. I recently had a home seller that offered it, and the buyer came up with a difference in cash, and it actually saved that buyer over $500,000 across the life of the loan. They're assuming it closes this month, a mortgage that has a 2.25 interest rate. And it's just a tremendous gift to the buyer. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach her at 719-301-3900. And if you're in your car and you can't listen to the entire show, don't worry about it. You can catch it on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Has the Buyers, also on podcast as well. When we come back, we'll be talking about what house features home buyers are willing to give up to be able to purchase the home that they want.
All right.
One down.
Can you squeeze that in there, DJ?
He says he'll make it happen. I don't think he's ever not made it work.
I could have gone on that topic, but
Which is good. I mean, I honestly do think that I think you being military, your son, you talking about this on Memorial Day, I just personally, and I'm not military, but I think it's really cool. And I think anybody who is military or has military in their family, active duty, retired, whatever, or just people who respect the military are going to be happy that, you're taking time out of your show to address something that,
Which is most of this town, but
which is most of this town. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of people in the town that are associated with the military somehow.
In fact, somebody was telling me, today there was somebody telling me that Lamborn's district has got more military and retired military than any other district in the nation, which does not surprise me.
Yeah. I'm surprised there wouldn't be something like that in Virginia or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think if there's anything, maybe we have a leg up because we've got such beauty out here, I suppose, but.
That's true. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Let me set my clock again. I'm using a different setup for the clock, so it's taking me a little bit more time to get used to it. There we are. Okay. All right. DJ's ready. You good, Barb?
I'm ready.
All right. I'll count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and it educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate. And it does it with Barb Schlinker, a veteran and the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, home buyers are struggling these days to afford a home in this area. So what are the things that home buyers are willing to give up to be able to afford a house that they want in this market?
Well, Richard, most experts are saying that home prices are holding up pretty well, even increasing according to the statistics. But what the future brings really has a lot to do with the affordability of the home in that area. So I found a really cool chart about affordability pyramid, and it was talking about how 66 million households cannot buy a home that cost 250,000 or less. So it's really difficult to find a home less than 250,000 in this market, but that represents over 66% of would-be home buyers. Everything above that, 250 to 325, 15% can afford it, 325 to 405, 13%, and it goes down from there. Home buyers over $1 million represents only the top 5% of would-be home buyers. And so affordability is a very big deal for people, and interest rates have a massive impact on that, especially in the entry-level price ranges. Just a few weeks ago, the interest rates were hovering in the mid-sevens. So although the Fed did not reduce the interest rates, the mortgage market did. So I think there is some supply and demand involved with how they price mortgages as you go week after week. And it looks like right now the 30-year fixed is at 7.10. A VA loan is just over 6.5. So that would tell me that what we're seeing a lot in our contracts is buyers are coming in and they're making offers asking for the seller to pay some of their loan closing costs so they can use the cash resources to buy their interest rate down. So where the market's at right now, we're seeing an increase of available homes, or what we call inventory, by over 26%. So the reason for that, some of that is seasonality. You'll see a lot more homes hit the market in the summer versus the fall and winter months, or even springtime months. So that's part of that. But we're seeing fewer sales as compared to a year ago. But the weirdest part of all this is the prices are just shooting up. So the average, talking about the average and the median price. So it's not having an impact on home prices, but there are fewer buyers that can afford to buy homes. So one of the things that we do when we meet with buyers is we actually sit down with them and we give them a presentation about what we can do for them to find the perfect home for them. We also talk about their price range. We make sure they're qualified to buy a house. We go over what are those must-haves for the home? What are those wants for a home? And unfortunately, because the prices are higher, some of the buyers are having to give up some of their must-haves and move those into the want category. And so what we're seeing as far as the type of things that they're giving up are, first of all, they're okay with the smaller lot. So I don't know if you've seen when you drive around town, Richard, they've got those houses that, if you're a Star Trek fan, they look like the Borg cube.
They do indeed, absolutely.
They're really ugly, but whatever, they're affordable for buyers, and they are detached single family homes. They have teeny weeny yards. I mean, you can't even fence those yards, but they can get housing for it. So those things are selling pretty well. So they'll give up some of the exterior amenities. They'll go further out from the urban areas. They're okay with the smaller house. They'll even be okay with things that need to be fixed up. And when it comes to selling a home, most sellers really want certainty of the sale. And so it's interesting. We actually have a lot of graphs and charts that we can break down by zip code, by neighborhood. So we have a lot of expertise to give you information about what you could realistically expect your home to sell for. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to give us a call and discuss your options, what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, we can give you a really good range of what your home will sell for and how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells. And we can even guarantee your home will sell for a certain price, or we'll give you 100% of the asking price or pay you the difference. And if you're not ready now, you can go to our website, barbhasthebuyers.com. And if you click on the yellow button, Get Home Value, we will send you some similar sales like yours that will give you kind of a good idea of what your home will sell. Now, every home is different. Every home is different in terms of its condition, its amenities, its upgrades, its location. All these factors play into whether or not your home will sell for top dollar. Like, I met with a seller last weekend, and he just purchased this home that's very cosmetically challenged, but in a really affluent neighborhood with great views. So it has the potential of selling for top dollar for sure if it gets fixed up. But if he sells it as is, chances are he probably won't make as much money on it for sure. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to talk to us about selling your home, we not only go over all of our 700 buyers in waiting that we can share with you and the other buyers we have access to, including cash buyers, plus give you a good idea of how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells. Just call us 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Everybody seems to remember that first. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is what buyers are having to give up now in order to be able to afford a home in this market. And next up, we're going to talk about some of the areas and some of the homes and deals that represent the best buy. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing the features that home buyers will give up in order to be able to afford a home. Barb, do home buyers actually know they have made the right choice? How do they know that?
Well, I like that question because one of the behaviors that I see sometimes after a buyer gets a contract on the home is during their inspection, without permission, oftentimes they will invite friends and family to the inspection to see the home because they want confirmation that they made the right decision. And it's okay as long as we know it's going to happen. Sometimes I've had full-on parties during the inspection. It's rather interesting. But a buyer can tell if the home is priced correctly or very realistically if they're facing competition. So in general, if a home is priced realistically, you're going to go under contract probably within the first few weeks, maybe first 30 days. And those homes tend to sell for the most money. If it's not selling, then something's not right, okay? But if you have competing offers, that's a clue. So the buyers really need to make their best offer in that scenario. They don't always do it, or maybe it's just not in their, buy package for affordability that they can't offer more. But I've seen some really great deals out there. And, real estate's very local, and you need an agent to help you figure out whether or not a home is a good buy. You got to look at what the competition is. You got to look at kind of what homes are selling for in that area. So I did some research and I looked at just general stats for the counties around here. And what we're seeing really is the inventory is kind of staying very stable right now. It hasn't really surged up to summer levels. And it's still kind of right between a buyer's and seller's market. The median list price for homes in El Paso County is almost 600,000. Average days on market, though, is longer. It's about 70 days. When you take a look at Douglas County, the prices absolutely are rising. We're approaching 900,000 for the median list price for homes. And basically the market's doing very well in Douglas County. The average days on market there is only 60 days. If you look at Teller County up in the mountains, Woodland Park, Florissant, Divide, all those areas, right now the median price is 617.5. It's a little bit more of a seller's market than a buyer's market. And as we go into the summer, that is absolutely their prime season for getting the most money when selling a property. The median list price is 617.5. The average days on market there, a little bit longer, 91 days. And then you look down at Pueblo. Right now, the median list price for Pueblo West is 459. And it's a little bit more of a seller's market than what we've seen in other areas. And I think partly because the prices are slightly lower in Pueblo than in some other areas. Median list price 459, average days on market, still a longer number, 84 days. So homes are still selling, prices are still going up, and some homes are getting multiple offers. So why is that? We put a house on the market recently. We knew we priced it below market solely because it has some cosmetic issues that need to be addressed, and the sellers just really don't want to fix it up. So we decided to do just 2 open houses on that home. We had really good crowds at both of them, but it's strange how people behave. While we've had it online on the market, even though those were the only 2 showing times, the sellers have found people in their front yard peeking around at 9:30 at night. They found vendors there giving bids in their front driveway and their backyard without permission. So I don't know who's doing that, but I think it's a little bit crazy. But if you are a buyer and you're thinking of making a move, we offer this free service called the VIP buyer, where we can provide you with off-market homes and give you insider access to homes that you cannot find on the internet. And then, of course, we're going to keep you informed about what's going on in the market. It's interesting that with this new change from the National Association of Realtors settlement, they're telling buyers agents right now to do that. Go learn about the market, which I think is very interesting. It's going to be very interesting this summer when the buyer agent commission drops off the MLS, and they're going to have to be able to substantiate what value they bring to a buyer, just like we do with sellers. And if you are a seller, it's absolutely critical that you get what I call all 4 P's correct: preparation, pricing, picking the right agent, and promoting the home. And the showing activity is going to give you a clue if you didn't get it right. If you're not getting very many showings, we didn't get it right. If you're getting just a few showings, you can make a small adjustment and probably get it under contract. And if you're getting offers, you're right there. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you are thinking of making a move, most definitely call Barb at 719-301-3900, or go ahead and visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about why real estate investors are getting back into buying homes. Stay tuned for that. Wow, wow, wow. You're like, well, my clock's a little off because I have to start it. You were within probably 50 seconds of being right on time. I'm gonna step out for just a second. Ugh.
Okay, no worries. Oh. Step out. It's
I
not
like your
good.
hair. Did you get your hair done?
Yeah,
I like it.
got a new set.
It looks really good.
Thank you. It's I haven't watched it yet since she did it yesterday, but
I like
my natural hair is like so short, so thin. It's
Oh. Yeah, I
kind
remember.
of scary.
I remember.
If I ever took these off, it wouldn't be good.
I remember we talked. You told me that do you have curly hair?
Oh, yeah. Oh, very early.
See, I wish I had curly.
No. No.
Because my mom has curly hair,
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
That's funny.
and then my older sister also has curly hair, and then me and my little sister have pin straight hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair's always been. It's gotten curlier as I've gotten older, which is very strange.
That makes sense.
So you have to I have to blow dry it straight. So it makes it very interesting when I'm styling. That's why I don't wash every day because it just takes too long
Yeah.
to dry out these things.
Yeah.
I got my beach dew on.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. Cynthia? Hey, is trying to schedule, I don't know what she's doing. So I got Lindsay around contracts. And something about closing, she doesn't have to close on the day of closing. She doesn't have to tell the new caller and tell that. Yeah. And then the inspection's gonna be Thursday, April. All right. That was 2. No.
You know, you're right about Teller County. We used to go up there all of the time. I mean, all of the time. And I don't remember, I take it back. My birthday last year, my daughter and I drove up there. We took Old Stage Road up there so we could just get a different feel for it. It was a great day. Didn't do anything, just hung out and talked for about 4 hours while driving.
I like driving.
Yeah, Victor, I love. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Victor's fun.
You know, there were places that I saw in Victor, and I know if I had said, Barb, I saw a house for $15,000 in Victor, I'm sure I could probably fix it up. You would have come in and just said, look, Richard, I'm a tear on wheels with a hammer or as an inspector, but I'm telling you right now, you may pay 15,000 for it. Before it was even habitable, you'd probably put another 60,000 into it.
Yeah, it's easy to make, real estate investment mistakes. Very easy.
Okay.
Over your head.
Yep.
Oh, but cold. I'm gonna turn the heater on. I know this probably seems crazy.
Are you freaking kidding me?
So disrespectful.
You are just
Cold in
yanking
here.
us around at this point, Barb.
No, I'm serious. I'm
No,
cold.
no, I know you're serious, but you're still yanking us around.
I know. Sorry.
In the time we've been doing this show, we started out at 83 degrees and now we're at 84.
Oh God.
Our face is up for you.
Are they gonna fix it?
They said yesterday and now they say today.
They
Although,
said it on Friday too.
yeah, one of them did. I got an email that kind of said, okay, guys, you can wear what you want to. So I
Oh,
may
that's
get to
nice.
that tomorrow. Okay, I got a new one ready to go for you, Barb. You good?
I'm ready.
David's ready. Count us down in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and it educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. And it does it with Barb Schlinker. Proud to say that she's a veteran and the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, many home sellers want to sell their homes for the most money that they can get. That just makes sense. However, there are some situations where people need to use other non-traditional ways of selling. Tell us why it would be better for some people to take a cash offer versus the traditional way of selling a home. And what are you seeing in the market now as far as an increased demand for real estate investors?
Well, it's certainly better than it was a year ago as far as the real estate investment demand. And so that speaks to the quality of this market and that, people like living here and they see real estate as a good investment. Even the big box hedge fund guys that they're buying into this market and paying a pretty good price. Whereas if you go back to when the Fed first started raising rates towards the end of 2022, they stepped out for a while. But now, there's a real estate investor on every corner, pretty much, just like there's a real estate agent on every corner. And some of them, you wouldn't believe some of the calls I get. Like last week, this guy called and he goes, I'm a real estate investor and I want to buy your listing over, 123 Main Street. And I want to take it subject to the current financing. So I don't know if you know what that means, Richard, but it means that they would like to give the seller a little bit of cash and just start making their payments, but not be on the hook for that mortgage. The seller would be. How would you like that?
Boy, this is why I appreciate working with you, Barb, because already I'm confused about this. It seems like it would be sus to me, and there's some suspicion about, is this good for me or not? But what I do know is I trust your judgment 100%, and that's why I've been recommending you to friends and family for years.
Well, thank you. And you got to be careful because they're all out there and they all went to, real estate investment school trying this type of thing. I was talking to one of my vendors yesterday and she said she went to one of those schools. And the first day, all they talked about was mindset. And they wanted $20,000 to be trained how to invest in real estate that way. And she didn't continue with the class. She left after the first day. But that was the kind of stuff that they were teaching. Oh, give them, borrow money on your credit card, if you can believe that, at 20% interest, and go out and offer them cash and take it subject to the current financing. And don't worry, it'll all work out, And it's like, I don't know who is teaching this stuff. It could work in some instances, but there's a ton of risk for the home seller because basically they're still on the hook for the mortgage. So if the mortgage doesn't get paid, guess whose credit gets tagged? It's the home seller, not the investor. So when we sit down with home sellers, first of all, we want to find out what is important to them. Do they need to sell fast? Do they not need to sell fast? Do they care about price? Some people don't care about price. They want timing. They have different criteria. So we want to know, what is their criteria? Some people don't want to deal with people coming through their house. There's a big variety. So we have to ask them, first of all. And there are some people that need to sell quickly. And there are some homes that need extensive rehab. So there is a price for every one of these situations. If the home needs repairs, you could sell it as is. These fix and flip investors just love it. I've got a home on the market right now that's basically a fix and flip opportunity. It's worth maybe $410 at the highest. It's priced in the mid twos. So we left some room for a flipper, maybe, but the seller still wants the most money. So we have multiple offers I'm going to be presenting today, which I'm excited about because I don't know who's doing this, but somebody keeps sending people over, even though we're not allowing showings anymore, and just crawling around the house and going, oh, is this a good investment? And I'm like, that's just rude. What would you think, Richard, if your house is on the market and somebody's crawling around your property?
Well, especially if they're just asking in front of me, is this a good investment or not? It almost doesn't matter what the answer is, because if they're going to answer, oh, yeah, it's a great one, that they're sucking up to you. And it would just really torque me off if they said, nah, I think we got to move on.
Yeah. So I can't wait to get this thing off the market so that those people stop bothering them. And so, some people are moving for a job offer and they have to be at a location at a certain date. So maybe they're willing to take a cash offer and not deal with the uncertainty of a traditional sale. What do I mean by that? So most buyers are getting a loan. So to get a loan, their loan has to be approved. So the normal steps are they get a contract, they do inspection, they ask for stuff. And then after we've resolved that issue, then they send their appraiser out to give an opinion of value. And as long as the appraiser thinks that the home is worth that much, it's fine. But if not, we got a problem. So last year, I sold a home right around Memorial Day, and I love these clients. They were so fun. So they decided to price their home very realistically, right at market value, maybe slightly less. Similar sales were right there at the 650 point. The highest one that we could find like that was 700,000, but it was way different. It was completely remodeled with walls taken out and gorgeous views. So I didn't think it was really comparable. And the two highest offers, one was cash and the other was getting a loan. And so when I explained the process to the seller, first of all, he put me on the carpet. He's a ex-Marine officer, and he goes, Barb, I told you I wanted the most money. What are you going to do to get me the most money? So I played mom against dad. We got him up a little bit, but the problem was the highest numerical offer was getting a loan, which meant we had to prove the value to the appraiser. And I couldn't find similar sales to match that number. So there wasn't certainty that it was going to go through. So he looked at me and he goes, seems to me with this process, you're just wallowing around in the mud for about 3 weeks and then you close. Is that right? And I said, yeah, pretty much. That's it. I thought it was hilarious. Um, and so sellers don't like that. Once they accept a contract, they want to know, because they got a plan to move. That's a big hassle all by itself, that this deal is going to go through. And you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that happens. Just last week, I got into a very intense cat fight over a used refrigerator that failed. That's not really included as part of the real estate, but the seller was going to leave it behind. We told him it failed. We put in the contract as offered as is. And this guy called an attorney over whether or not this refrigerator should be funded by the seller. Is that crazy, Richard? Or am I just being...
Pump your brakes. Seriously, didn't you guys say it doesn't work and that it was crazy for him to want, or them to want, a refrigerator that didn't work, and then they turn around and talk about suing because it doesn't work?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So refrigerator, washer, and dryer are considered personal property. Okay. If you get those when you negotiate, same with the hot tub. If you get those things included with the sale, it's a present. An appraiser, I've got 2 appraiser clients right now. They don't give you value for those things. They're giving you value for the real estate, not the personal property. So when it failed, I told the buyer, so sorry, so sad. There is a provision in the contract that you have to give an equivalent value. So we went up on eBay and found a used 8-year-old Kenmore for $199.95. We offered that to the buyer. Oh my God, flopping on the floor, hissy fit, gonna terminate the deal over this $200 refrigerator, yet the sales price was pushing $1 million. And they wanted $2,000 for that used refrigerator. So I learned something from it. What I learned is I'm going to put in writing that if it fails during the contract, we're not replacing it. It's a gift. And that's the kind of stuff I deal with on a daily basis with real estate agents. That is a definition of wallowing around in the mud and gut punching and stuff like that. And I said, dude, big picture here, you're going to make thousands and thousands of dollars. You were the one that didn't even want to go to the inspection. You said it was a big waste of your time. And he had a meltdown, said, I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. So I go into my inbox. I find the email where he put it in writing and emailed it to him. I said, isn't this your email? Didn't you say this?
Brutal.
And he was, oh, well, I didn't mean that. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I have to deal with on a daily basis. These agents will trip over thousands to get to pennies and fight like cats and dogs over the dumbest things. And they feel like that's helping their client, but it's not. It's real. What it's doing is it's creating this animosity between buyer and seller that's really not necessary. And that's why there's some people that just will take a cash offer. So we offer that. There are some builders that won't offer a sales contingency at all. So if you have a house to sell, they're not going to accept your contract, or they'll tell you to sell it really quick. Otherwise, they won't even start the home if you're building a home from a dirt start. So that's why we do cash offers. And these things are really gaining momentum because you don't have to worry about buyer qualification. You don't have to worry about a cat fight on a $200 8-year-old Kenmore. And you don't have to worry about preparing your home for sale. It's sold as is at the price you want and need, and absolutely the least amount of hassle. So what we're seeing right now is a big rise in the amount of offers that we're getting from cash investors. And sellers are looking at it. Some of these investors, they want to flip the home and make a profit. Some want to hold it and rent it. Some, I talked about the subject to thing, which I think is very risky, but there are some buyers that just want to live in the home that have the skill to be able to fix it themselves. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. Also the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about why more and more home sellers are considering cash offers and we're seeing an increased demand from investors. And next up, we're going to talk about the benefits of accepting a cash offer and how you can get one in 24 hours. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're interested in selling your home or you want to call Barb for anything, give her a call at 719-301-3900. We're talking, Barb, about selling a home. And Barb, why would a home seller be interested in getting a cash offer for their home?
Well, I think it's all about uncertainty. So the typical sales process, you get your home ready for sale. It looks beautiful. The pictures are great. The buyers are coming through and they'll, tease you with a few questions. Oh, maybe, can you ask me about this? Oh, maybe that. And then you find out they bought another house. And so it's very disappointing to go through that process. And now with the average days on market, anywhere from 60 to 90 days, you're having buyer after buyer go through your house and reject your home or reject it over some other home for one reason or another. And some people just want to get this done. So the benefit of a cash offer is you don't have to worry about an appraisal. You can close on your timeline. You don't have to deal with cat fights of agents. You have peace of mind of knowing your home is sold, minimal, if any, repairs, and the optimal resolution. So if you're interested in getting a cash offer, we are the only company in town that actually shows up and can give you instant cash offers on the spot and even go and get more and give you that certainty of closing. So if you're interested in getting one of those cash offers, give us a call. I have a home seller right now that accepted a cash offer. They were the original owners of this home out in Stetson Hills, really nice 2-story with an unfinished basement. The only problem is when they built it, they only put in 2 bedrooms, not 3. And that's a little bit of an oddity. Might be hard to sell that home. So they took the cash deal because that provided them the certainty that they need to move forward. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and Barb is the host of the program. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb, 719-301-3900, or as always, visit Barb at barbhasthebuyers.com. Short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to sell a home owned by a family member that has passed away. Plus, Barb's hot new listings. You don't want to miss either of those. I think this studio qualifies as one of your hot new listings.
A hot new studio.
Gee.
All right. What do you think of that one?
I thought it was really good. I mean, I think, I don't know the market like you do, but everything you talk about seems to me to be the kind of thing I would be thinking about if I were considering buying a home.
Yeah. And I just,
the middle stay thing, I love that. So, and I tell people a couple of times during the week, about your show on Saturday, and that you get a lot more detailed information because you've got more time, and that it's always great information, whether you're looking to sell right now or whether you're looking to sell in a couple of months or a year or so.
thank you.
Okay. I'm thinking, why am I singing it with that song? When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not.
I have songs that get stuck in my head for a long time sometimes.
Oh, gosh. And they say the way to get it out is to listen to another song. And then I get that song stuck in my head. So, and there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I'll just wake up. It's not like I heard the song or anything like that. I'll just wake up and boom, it's there.
Yeah.
All right. I got a new clock. David, you good? David's good. Barb, you good?
Ready to go.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice, and she's the host of the program. And this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. And it does it with Barb Schlinker, a proud veteran and owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, many home sellers worry that if they have to sell after a loss in the family, it can be very overwhelming, of course. What are some of the issues that home sellers must know before putting their Colorado Springs home up for sale while facing a loss in their family?
Well, Richard, it's always sad and it's never fun to deal with somebody's estate. And some home sellers are completely prepared. Like if they put the house in a trust, it's a really clean way legally to get it done and sold without too much hassle. But not too many people do that. And so what ends up happening is whoever the heirs of that homeowner were first have to get themselves assigned to be an either executor or personal representative of the estate. And then there's a lot of family drama that goes on with these typically. And so it's really interesting. Now, if it's a spouse and the other spouse is still alive, usually that's no problem. Typically, you just take the death certificate down to the county or any title company, and they record it, and boom, you're entitled by yourself. So that's not a problem. But when both owners pass away, having somebody step in for you and have to deal with the whole estate and the whole family thing is quite a challenge for most people. It could be a full-time job practically. But there are some things that can make it run a little bit more smoothly. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I've actually helped a lot of people, and not only my own family, but other families when they're facing the situation that a homeowner passes away. And if you want more information, you could call my office anytime, 719-301-3900. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm a retired Navy veteran. I was a pilot. I worked as an air traffic controller. I have a college degree, but I'm not an attorney. Sometimes I thought it'd be fun, but anyway. So if you were in joint tenants, then it's pretty simple. You just have the death certificate switched over. But let's say that it's your parents and the last owner passed away. You really, and you haven't actually done anything, like you don't have a trust that makes it real simple. You're going to have to go through probate. So what does that mean? You have to hire an attorney to get assigned as the executor of the estate. And it doesn't take too long of time. You also have to get yourself onto or in control of whatever financial assets that they have, like a checking account for sure, because when the home sells, there's probably going to be some proceeds that are put into the estate. So there's some really great probate attorneys out there. And I remember when my dad had passed away in 2011, and then just 5 months later, my mom. And it was interesting. And we did get some good advice during that process. One of the things that they suggested was to have my brother ended up being the executor of this estate, have him put on her checking account so that it was a little bit simpler once she passed away. And it really was, because it made the whole process a little bit easier. But, if you don't have family members that get along, some theft could happen. And I've heard of that happening with some families. If the homeowner had a mortgage and payments are not being made, you need to know whether or not the house is in foreclosure. Now, typically this takes time. This is not a very fast process. I would say on balance, most lenders are going to foreclose anywhere from 6 months to a year after payments quit being made. It could be quicker, but I would say it takes more time. So you need to know that information. You don't have to worry about making the payments and keeping current, because as long as there's a little bit of equity, we can just order the payoff of the existing loan at closing. So don't worry too much about that. The reverse mortgages, those are an interesting financial platform. So a lot of people get a reverse mortgage, and instead of making payments every month, their mortgage balance goes up. So once they pass away, the reverse mortgage company needs to know. Now, every month until it sells, the balance will go up. So I've helped some people sell their homes in that situation. You really got to watch that. And there are some things to consider when selling a home when you had a family member loss. And you just have to take it one step at a time. I think one of the things that's most overwhelming for most of the heirs is dealing with all their possessions, getting rid of their stuff, selling their stuff. People want this, people want that. Okay. But it's important that you just take it one step at a time, get a really good estate attorney, make sure you get your hands on the death certificates. You can't really do anything without those. And then be assigned the executor and get on the checking account so that you can handle the financial assets of the estate. And then prepping your home for sale. So some people will sell their estate sales completely as is. Some will fix them up a little bit. It just depends. And so some people take really good care of their homes and there's not much to worry about, but in most cases, they're a little bit dated. They might need some work. And so you need really good advice on how to get the home sold quickly. And most people really just don't want to go through this whole process of getting the house ready for sale and making it pretty and doing all that stuff. So you can certainly tap into our cash investors to make that happen. I'll give you a story, a family that I helped recently. It was 3 daughters selling the family home. One of the daughters was living there. So we used some of our resources to help them just freshen the carpet because it had 1985 brazen hussy red shag carpet over the top of hardwood floors. And so red is one of those colors. It just doesn't look pretty in pictures. Plus it was very old carpet. So what we did was just replace the carpet to make it look move-in ready, because that's all buyers need. They don't need everything updated. They just need the flooring pretty good, move-in ready enough so that they can actually just move in and they can take their time updating things like kitchens and baths. So we did that for them. They got everything ready to go. All we did was replace the flooring, which was only a $2,500 cost. And we ended up getting $15,000 over asking price. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. I'm also the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Colorado. Barb has the buyer's team. And we're talking about how to sell your family home when a family member has passed away. And next up, what we're going to talk about is really how we can prepare that home for sale, or the option of selling your home to a cash buyer. And if you are thinking of making a move in the next couple of months, we can help you with that whole process, start to finish. We actually have a moving van that we let our clients use for free, and they love it. And we have people associated with the company that have folks that can actually help you dispose of or repurpose furniture that you no longer want, that kind of thing. So if you are thinking of selling your family's home, give us a call. We'll sit down and find out what your goals are. We'll share with you our 700 exclusive buyers in waiting. Also, we'll talk about our buyer agent network, our buyers on Zillow, Realtor.com, our cash buyers, give you a really good idea what your home will sell for, either with going on the open market or dealing with cash buyers, and how much you'll put in your pocket. All you need to do is give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice, host of the program and a veteran as well. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. That's Barb's promise and the name. Give her a call at 719-301-3900. We're talking about selling a home when the home sellers are facing a family loss. What are some of the other things, Barb, that home sellers should be prepared for in these difficult times?
Well, typically when you're selling a home like that, the title company, we're a title company state, so those are usually the companies that gather all the money and process the whole sale. they need to substantiate that whoever is selling the home has the authority to sell the home. That could be done either if the property was already in a trust, or if the executor or personal representative was actually assigned that right from an attorney through probate. You can't do anything until that happens, because obviously the person that passed cannot sign for the property. So you have to be able to sign for the property before anything happens. And you can prepare for that by, maybe if you don't want to do a trust, you could at least get a checking account that you're both on. And if it's not a surprise passing, maybe get on the family member's account, just so it's kind of a smooth transition financially. That's really important to get that done. And then the other thing that's very important to do is make sure that you're all on the same page about who is going to handle the sale. I've seen some family fights back and forth, things like, they were fighting over who the agent was going to be, what the listing price was going to be, the selling price, how much the commission. I'm working with a client right now that they had somebody that used to be an agent that offered a really low commission. She went through 2 agents and it didn't sell. The house didn't sell. So she had both. She didn't have a marketing problem. She had a pricing problem. And also how much commission she offered was a deterrence for some other agents to show the house. And that was a huge mistake. And we could have already had this done. So, and if you don't want to deal with all that, that's fine. You don't have to repair the house. You don't have to fix it up. You just have to have it emptied out prior to one of our cash offers coming in and purchasing the home as is. And sometimes these cash offers are not necessarily always lowball. So if you are interested in discussing that, we have lots of experience in this. Give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You want an agent who has the knowledge and the experience to help you with solutions to your home sale, no matter what the situation is. That is Barb and her team. Get in touch with them by 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Now, one of the most upbeat and fun portions of the show, Barb, your hot new listings. What do you have?
Yes, so summer is coming. We're so excited about introducing some of our beautiful properties. One of them is a fantastic home on Boulder Lane up in Woodmore Mountain, 2.5 acres, top of the mountain, gorgeous views, $129,999. We have a great townhome out in Claremont Ranch near Peterson. Beautiful, with 2 masters and a 2-car garage, priced at $359,900. A fabulous home on Powers Road on 35 acres in the mid 3s. A great townhome on Smoke Free Drive and at $320,000. And then we have a really beautiful home. They just lowered the price to $549,999 on Snowbird Drive that's been completely remodeled. And then a fabulous rancher on 35 acres out in Calhan. They just lowered the price at $425,999. And then we also have a beautiful home on Allegiance Drive. That one's priced at $599,999, and 2 great properties out in Peyton, both on 5 acres, one on Gull Lane that has solar, main level living, great for 2 families, priced at $719,999, and a beautiful ranch out near Peyton Pines on a Cowie Way, and that one's priced at $674,999. And an amazing property up on the top of Crystal Mountain. This beautiful, almost new home, priced at $1,085,000, actually has an attached 2-car, beautiful, all modern finishes, and a detached RV garage right there amongst the aspens with views and serenity in a great location. So if you are thinking of making a move, we have another lot coming up on Nicole Heights on 35 acres. Gated community in Woodland Park at $499,999. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. That's where all our properties are featured, and you want to be there because I have almost 1 million impressions a month and over 9,000 clicks on that website alone. Give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
If you're listening, sorry. 3, 2, 1. You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every weekend. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb Schlinker at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. You can see replays of the show at barbhasthebuyers.com. It'll kick you over to the video, or you can listen to the podcast on all of the popular platforms like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Barb, thank you for your service. I'm proud to work with a veteran. Thanks to all of you for listening, and to reach out to Barb, give her a call, 719-301-3900. Have a great weekend.
Thank you and happy Memorial Day. Got her done.
We got her done. God, I don't think I have ever been, let me open the door, because what happens is we open the door and it's like a degree or two cooler, but then people walk by the hall and they're always, you always turn them down, don't you, David? Yeah, promo. I'm Richard Randall, and if you're looking for a real estate person who's got air conditioning in her car, in her office, and in the home she's going to be showing you, that would be your real estate cool person, Barb Schlinker.
Cute.
Does that work? It's what
That
I want to say, but okay. Let's see here.
How about what house features home buyers would give up to purchase a home?
I like that. We'll go ahead
Or
and do it.
to afford a home, maybe sounds better.
All right. 3, 2. Oops. 3, 2, 1. Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, airs every Saturday right after Cudlow from 11 until noon right here on 740 KVOR. This weekend, Barb talks about what things you would be willing to give up in order to get a brand new home. Look forward. To afford. That's good. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, airs every Saturday from 11 until noon, right after Cudlow, right here on 740 KVOR. This weekend, Barb's talking about what things you'd be willing to give up in a home in order to afford it. Is that time-wise okay? Barb, if you want to brag about having to turn your heat on one more time, that was so cruel. I didn't think you were ever cruel. I figured that, you're Navy, you're a pilot, you've been around the world, Okinawa, all over the place, that you probably had a tough side to you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
cruel, I guess I just didn't see cruel. Oh, guys, hang on. I have to go turn the heat on because it's so cold over here. All right.
Sorry.
Thank you for your service. Sincerely, you don't probably say it enough, but thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. Your sons as well, and your husbands as well.
Well, thank you very much for sweating this out this morning and in your hot yoga locker or whatever you're doing.
What? But that's the thing. You know what? Quick story. So I'm downtown covering a Veterans Day parade, and it is like 6 below zero. I'm down there and there's this little old lady. She probably was like 85, 89, standing on the sidewalk along with another woman. And so I went up and I said, gee, you could be inside today having a hot cup of cocoa, reading the newspaper and just relaxing. Instead, you're standing out here in this cold. And she said, my husband fought in Korea at Incheon, and it was colder than this. And it was day and night, day after day, night after night. I guess to pay respects, I can stand out here for an hour or two.
How nice is that? That's
You
awesome.
got it. All right. Have a great
All right.
weekend.
You guys have a great weekend too. I hope you get AC soon.
Hooked up over the dumbest stuff.
All right. Bye-bye.